Why are the Democrats terrified of the economy opening? Why do they want a national shutdown? Let's put the bottom line up front, folks. Ladies and gentlemen, they have three goals right now that are becoming readily apparent. I'm going to produce the evidence here to show you I'm right. This is what they're afraid of. Let's look at Real Clear Politics, this article. It's in the show notes by Stephen Moore. It is well done. The show notes are available if you go to bongino.com/newsletter. I will email you these articles every day. It is worth your time. Beware of the left's degrowth movement. Folks, big leftist groups, fake environmentalists, they're not real environmentalists. They're really former communists who become environmentalists, who hate capitalism. They think this is great. They think this degrowth movement, degrowth, which is code word, Joe, for bankrupting you, your kids, your business, your grandkids, and everyone around you while you suffer with no job, no money, and lose your house and potentially lose your car. The left, someone will think this is wonderful. From the Real Clear piece, read this whole thing in the show notes. It is worth your time. A former high-ranking climate advisor to the Obama administration, Jason Bordoff, writes in Foreign Policy magazine that COVID-19 may deliver some short-term climate benefits, Joe, by curbing energy use, or even longer-term benefits if economic stimulus is linked to climate goals. Wow.
It's wonderful.
But he adds, almost regretfully, that the, quote, benefits from the pandemic in terms of less carbon emissions are likely to be fleeting and negligible. Degrowth is defended by its proponents as a political, economic, and social movement based on ecological economics, anti-consumerism, and anti-capitalism. Oh, Dan, those are just a few radicals. Are they? Really? If they're just a few radicals, a former Obama folks here and there, a couple of fringe groups out there, then if you ask yourself, if it's just a few of them, why are so many of them on the Democratic side, despite evidence that their shutdowns have not been particularly effective in doing what they stated, or that these shutdowns have been so effective, but they don't have a particular exit plan? Why are the Democrats so eager to keep them going without any exit plan for you? You may say, Dan, they have an exit plan. Their exit plan, they said, was we need more testing and we need more contact tracing. Ladies and gentlemen, as was brought up in a couple of newspaper articles, that's your exit plan? Testing and contact tracing. How are you going to do that in D.C. or New York? How are you going to do that? Every person that gets on the metro in D.C. who later comes down with COVID, you're going to contact trace every single person that got on the metro that morning, basically all of Washington, D.C. that lives in that area? How are you going to do that?
Right.
The reason, ladies and gentlemen, they're not giving you an exit plan is because they don't want an exit, because these degrowthers are more powerful than you think they are. These are not radical far left group. They're radical, but they're not fringe. These are not fringe. These are groups that have seeped into the mainstream of Democrat thinking. Second, so first, they want to meet their ideological goals. Second, this is destroying the president's approval ratings, ladies and gentlemen. Not that your public safety should ever, ever be subordinated to polls. Don't dare misconstrue what I'm saying and put out disinformation. I'm suggesting to you that they want to continue this shutdown despite a no exit plan and despite the fact that it's going to bankrupt this country. And ladies and gentlemen, as I tweeted out a Wall Street Journal article yesterday, ironically, Joe, is bankrupting hospitals and ripping apart our healthcare infrastructure. Tell me again how that's a good a beacon for public safety in the future. You're going to have no hospital to go to soon because they're being bankrupted. No, has anyone not thought that through? This is for public safety. There's going to be no public safety infrastructure if you continue this. Look at this article by Paul Bedard in the Washington Examiner. This has a political benefit for the Democrats. Clearly. More coronavirus fallout. Trump approval shows the sharpest drop Gallup has recorded. Look at this screen capture from the piece. Ladies and gentlemen, this is doing real damage. America's ratings of Trump performance improved in mid-March when the novel coronavirus threat demanded federal efforts to contain the spread. Trump addressed the nation. It goes on and basically says that now they're reflective of their assessment of his performance and an overall souring mood as the employment rate and death toll continue to climb, said the polling company. trying to discuss why his poll numbers are dropping dramatically. Again, what I'm suggesting to you is they don't care about what's going on in your house. Your evaporating paycheck, your disappearing refrigerator content, the emptying food closets in your kitchen. I don't call them pantries. I hate it. The misery and stress being caused by you not being able to, none of that to go to work. None of that matters. Their ideological goals are being met, and they are effectively destroying President Trump's approval ratings. Finally, point number 3. This shutdown serves their interests in blaming conservative media, Fox News, anyone they can blame it on. Despite the fact that there were people at Fox in the beginning that were saying the same thing a lot of people in the media were. Don't panic. Panic's not going to help. Panic kills. They want to blame it off. Look at this disgusting article from a New York Times columnist this weekend who I'm going to show you how this is totally phony too. This is all made up, but it serves their interest. Look, you don't believe me? I'll show you a tweet from the woman who wrote this in a minute to show you what a huge fraud she is. So they write this article about this guy, tragic, this guy Joe Joyce, who was 74, a non-smoker. 4 years after he opened this bar, he stopped drinking completely and he didn't see a problem. They decided to take a cruise, right? And they listen to why they try to blame why he took this cruise. Because he watched Fox and believed it was under control, this lady told the author. Early in March, Sean Hannity went on air proclaiming that he didn't like the way American people were getting scared unnecessarily. He saw it all, he said, as like a bludgeon. Let's bludgeon Trump with a new hoax. You see what's going on there? Don't be confused. It is a New York Times columnist suggesting that it was Fox that downplayed the virus while they were out ahead of it, Joe. And because of that, this guy contracted the coronavirus. Oh my gosh, it's Fox's fault. What does that have to do with the shutdown? They need the panic. The panic, they have to keep writing stories. The panic will continue the shutdown because people will panic. And the panic will also lead people to believe this is the worst health crisis in the history of humankind and that Fox and other people did this by playing it down. You know what's odd? The author of this piece, hat tip comfortably smug on Twitter, by the way. The author of this piece, Joe, who's blaming Fox, tweeted this on February 27th. The hapless, disturbing Jania Belafonte, who wrote this piece, tweeted, I fundamentally don't understand the panic. Incidence of the disease is declining in China. Virus is not deadly in vast majority of cases. Production and so on will slow down and will obviously rebound. CC, at Opinion Joe. Oh.
Yeah.
No, Joe. No. She didn't play it down. Those are her words in her tweet. The author of that pathetic, disgusting, filthy New York Times column. It's not her who played it down. It's Fox News that did this. They got people killed. Those are her exact words on Twitter. Who really played this down? Maybe the more likely story, ladies and gentlemen, the truth, is that in January and February, nobody knew how serious this was going to be, it was going to become. As I said on Fox News this morning, the R naught, the contagiousness of the virus, the lethality of it, nobody knew. Because the Chinese were misinforming and disinforming people. Blaming Fox? They need panic to do that because they know the media will cover for them like Miss Jania Belafonte, who did the exact same thing.
You just heard The Dan Bongino Show. You can also get Dan's podcasts on iTunes or SoundCloud and follow Dan on Twitter 24/7 at DBongino.